Hello and welcome to our Gold Neonatal Online Conference 2019. I'm Fiona Lang-Sharp, IBCLC and Director of Communications and MC for Gold Learning. Well, welcome to all of our listeners today. It is a great year. Here we are with our Gold Neonatal Conference once again, starting on June 3rd. Very exciting. And of course, we dive into chatting with our speakers as we get ready for our conference. And today I have the absolute pleasure of sitting down with Leigh Cates-McGlinn. Welcome, Leigh. It's so great to have you here today.
Hello, how are you? Thank you.
Well, I'm delighted to have you here today because I know we were talking a little bit offline about your topic and saying that I am super interested in this topic and I can't wait to hear what you're going to teach us. I know that we have to wait just a smidge longer before you join us live here at our conference, but nonetheless, I know that's going to come around really quickly. But Leigh, today I just wanted to take the opportunity, of course, to welcome you and, of course, to get to know you a little bit deeper. And I just been going through your bio today and recognizing that you have quite the career here that you've been doing. So why don't you start off by just sharing a little bit of how you started off in your career and what's led you here until today?
So, I actually started as a respiratory therapist and worked primarily in the NICU, but also did PICU, adult ICU, ER, all
Uh-huh.
those things that
Right.
therapists do. And then went back to nursing school. And after becoming a nurse, I again worked NICU, PICU, adult ICU, all of those things, even owned, did some home health, worked in, and then owned my own medical staffing agency where we staffed hospitals with respiratory therapists and nurses and things of that nature.
Wow. Yeah.
Um, but I kept being drawn back to the NICU. And
Right.
while I was there working for my own company as a charge nurse in the NICU, I had another traveling nurse came through and she told me about a program to become a neonatal nurse practitioner that was online and it sounded absolutely amazing. So I went back and got my third degree as a neonatal nurse practitioner. Um, I love that. I enjoy my clinical position there. I'm able to utilize what I learned as a respiratory therapist and, of course, as a
Right.
bedside nurse.
Yeah.
And honestly, this particular presentation actually comes from the knowledge that I gained as a therapist and as a bedside nurse working in adult ICUs and
Ah,
in PICUs.
right.
In those particular units, just like the NICU, every patient is on a monitor. But
Mm-hmm.
they actually, those nurses and those physicians, because cardiac is so much more a part of their population,
Mm-hmm.
age population, than it is neonatal, they are
Right.
very in tune to what arrhythmias are and their changes and how to treat them. In fact, as a bedside nurse, I taught ACLS as well, and I teach PALS and NRP and those types of things. But you're really taught to notice the subtle changes in rhythms. And actually, often we would run codes, and a physician would be there, but they didn't really need to do much because it was part of you just understood what was going on at a different level for the adult and pediatric population.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the neonatal population, thankfully, most of the issues that are life-threatening are typically respiratory issues. So our understanding in the neonatal population of respiratory issues is much, much deeper. Whereas even though every patient's on a monitor, they don't often have arrhythmias. And when they do, they're not necessarily life-threatening, but those that are life-threatening are the ones that you really need to be on top of. And I feel like what I learned is how to know why an arrhythmia is named what it is and how to break it down so that it is not some voodoo out there. It's actually very easy to understand for the most part. And you can actually, I want to bring it down to a level that everybody can take a piece of it and walk away with, I understand now why you call sinus rhythm, sinus rhythm. Why do you call
Right.
sinus tack, those kind of things,
Mm-hmm.
and how to really understand what you do with them once you recognize them.
Oh, well, I mean, it sound to me, I'm sold. Like I'm in there. I'm hungry for more information, and I can't wait to hear some more. You have your doctorate in philosophy as well. When did you
I
manage to
do.
fit that in? When did you put that in? Come on.
So my PhD is, yes. So when I was teaching as a neonatal nurse practitioner in an NMP program, it was
Right.
understood when I came on board. I had my master's degree, which was at that time entry level for advanced practice nurse. And
Sure.
they haven't changed it to be doctorate yet, except for CRNAs. But
Right.
nonetheless, it was understood that I would have a doctorate degree before the end of 3 years, or at least be enrolled. So
Wow.
that was, and I had already kind of had that goal.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I enrolled in 2011 and graduated in 2014. And yeah, my PhD has a focus on multidimensional competency,
Right.
specifically those performing in simulation. So multidimensional, they're cognitive, what they know, they're technical, what they can do, they're hands-on, and then most importantly, their behavioral competency, their
Right.
teamwork, communication, their leadership, their situational awareness, um,
Hmm.
those type of things, professionalism, all of those behaviors that actually can quote unquote crash the plane if those are not done well. So those are the things that I am working on creating an instrument to evaluate multidimensional
Oh,
competency. So
wow.
specifically for readiness to graduate
Yep.
and or acquisition and or maintenance of your certification. So it could just be another step. It could be in addition to. It could be, hey, I can get some CEUs going and doing these particular simulations. So they of course need to be valid and reliable. The instrument
Sure.
needs to be valid and reliable. There's multiple steps to it. It's not just about writing a scenario and doing it and going, okay, here we go. Yeah, you did well. There's a lot more steps to it, but medicine for years has utilized simulation as one step of, they take a written exam, just like
Right.
nurse practitioners do. But in addition, there's several steps, and simulation using actual parents or patients, and those are actors that are trained to respond in a certain way. Well, with neonatal, we can do that with parents
Hmm.
and delivering bad news, different things of that nature. But when it comes to the actual patient, um, they are coming up more and more every day with better high fidelity mannequins and making those simulations where they dispel disbelief, all of those things. That's what kind of needs to come truly into full circle so that we can really assess someone's cognitive, technical, and behavioral competency.
Well, all I can say is wow, and probably the fact that you're highly sought after because this this is an area that is just growing, and people like yourselves who are focused in this area and just being dynamic and all those types of things, you probably are under quite a bit of demand, I imagine, Leanne, in terms of just helping people interpret all of that.
Yes, yes, it is. It's something that people. I think the biggest thing is that people understand that being simulation trained
Hmm.
is different than being mannequin trained. I think you see a lot of people out there that they learn how to run a mannequin in a day class, and so they
Right.
think that they can run simulations, and actually you can hurt the learner that way because the
Mm,
most important part is not necessarily the simulation, it's really more the debriefing. So
right.
if you're not
Totally.
debriefing well and finding the learners where their frame of reference is, why they did
Totally.
what they did, and it may
Yeah.
be they did what they did because you have a bad scenario, because you gave the wrong cues.
It's about the
So
gaps, right? It's about the
yes,
gaps.
exactly.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more to running good simulations and understanding that one or two are okay, but when you are testing someone for their multidimensional competency, one or two is like having a test with one or two questions.
Right.
So that's not um, reliable at all. That's not
No.
valid at all. So
Hmm.
what you need to do is try to have enough simulations that cover the span of, because in medicine they sure don't go through one room and two rooms and say they're done. They go through a whole gamut of things that they feel like are baseline for those particular physicians to know before they even go into their residency, before they go past that, so that they can have the term MD behind their names. They have to be able to do a gamut of things. And so it would be the same way with neonatal. Do you understand assessment in normal newborn? Do you understand delivery room? Do you understand all the way to transport and high risk? And you're now on your own. There's not a physician standing right behind you. Can you step up to the plate and take a team through a
Right.
very, high risk or low volume situation? And can you do it well? Those
Mm-hmm.
types of things.
Hmm.
So that's something that I think that's important. There's a lot of people doing simulation, but
Yeah.
you can be dangerous actually if you don't do it well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, you're speaking my language for sure. I love the idea of that, connecting and doing a debrief and really understanding the elements that may have been missed, perhaps on our part or their part, so that everyone can understand what's happening and and moving forward and making it better, because that's what it's all about.
Absolutely, absolutely. And understanding that what I love to see with especially my nurse practitioner students, or when I do this with neonatal fellows, those type of things, is that they see what kind of leader they are. Because a lot of times these debriefs are video debriefs, so they get to
Right.
actually see themselves on camera. So
Right.
how are you as a team leader? Are you Chicken
Gosh.
Little and the
Yeah.
sky is falling and you're very anxious and you're making the whole team that way? And therefore
Mm.
that is very bad for patient safety. Or
Yes.
are you a wallflower and nobody can really hear you and we can't understand, and those type of things? Or are you Captain Jerk, so to speak? Hey, I need you to. Ruh, ruh, ruh. Well, that
Yeah, yeah.
doesn't work either. All of
No.
those particular things are actually bad for patient safety.
Mm-hmm.
Or are you one of those that are calling out orders so fast and so furious that you know what you want done, but there's two people standing there and they can only do two things at once. So what are the most important? How do you understand how to prioritize what is the most important at this time, and what can you actually help with, and how much do you need to stand back and think? So there's a lot to the behavioral portion, especially of simulations, that you can utilize in your debrief, and how you take those people, especially the neonatal students, to
Mm-hmm.
a practitioner, to what I call the other side of the pencil. So they're
Right.
used to receiving orders, but
Yep.
now they need to be able to give orders in a brief, concise, but complete manner, in a way that empowers their team, that they
Mm.
exude. Because whether we like it or not, when people exude confidence, they are deemed as competent, whether they are or not,
Right.
unfortunately. So
Yep.
you may feel like the sky is falling, but you had the time, you've got to hold it together, exude confidence, and then you are telling your team you are competent. They are listening, they're following, everything is boom, 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 the sky is not falling. And then when you can go back to your call room or to the bathroom or whatever later, you
Yeah.
can lose it. But you at least learn to work those things as in simulation in a safe environment. You've killed no one, you've hurt no one, and it's later you as an adult can reflect on, how did I do, how did I not do, those kind of things.
Absolutely. I mean, you're just blowing me away right now. Honestly, I'm smiling from ear to ear. I want everyone just to practice like you you do. So absolutely. It's just brilliant, Leanne. I mean, what you're doing is putting confidence in me today. I'm like, yes.
Awesome.
Yes, it's awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you sitting down and schooling us again to be confident in what we're doing, to articulate well. Something that really shines through from you, though, Leanne, of course, is your passion here. And I surely appreciate that, because that's something that, that's what we represent here at Gold Neonatal, is that we are very passionate about what we do, and we care, about what is put out there online, face to face. We want to get good presentations and good people in here, and you're definitely one of them. So thank you so
Well,
much.
thank
It's
you.
been it's been a pleasure chatting with you. For our listening audience out there, I hope that you've enjoyed this little sit down with Dr. Leanne Cates-McGlinn, and she is going to be with us. I can't wait. It's going to be Tuesday, the 11th of June. Now, what I want you to do is go to the website right now, goldneonatal.com. You can check out the live schedule, see what time zone you're in. It calculates it for you online. It knows which country you're in, which is really awesome. And make note of the time that Leanne is going to be with us. And then, of course, you can come and join us on June 3rd as well, which is our opening keynote. That is free and open access, so everyone can come and embrace that wonderful presentation with Dr. Nicholas Embleton as well. So do join us for that opportunity as well. Well, thank you once again to Leanne Cates-McGlinn for being with us here today. And of course, to all of you, our listening audience. We'll see you all soon. Bye-bye for now.